Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Church Bulletin. I have with me today Father Joe Patrone. He is home for a couple of weeks.
I'm here for about a week and a half, and then I'm going to go on my retreat, and then I'll be back for another week.
Yes.
So we've got that month-long break from school, so I'm around for a little bit. I'll be driving you guys crazy on the weekends, I'm sure.
Hardly. So we're really excited. So he is joining us today as Father and Tim are on their way to go hang out with Bishop Barron at the Wonder Conference in Minnesota that we've talked about. So pray for them as their travels head west. And we have Father Joe, Father Luke. We have a mission priest coming in this weekend to talk about Mission Sunday, and lots of fun stuff happening. So.
Yes.
Welcome.
It's an exciting time to be alive here at St. Jude the Apostle Parish.
Oh, it's very exciting here on campus. If you hear singing in the background, we know you're not being serenaded by anybody fancy. The Junior Philharmonic is in their week here, so it's been fun having them around, listening to all their young voices sing a variety of different things and learn some rhythm. That's been fun too.
Yes.
So you want to start with the cover, Father Joe?
Sure. So this week on the cover, we have The Gathering of the Manna by James Tissot, a French painter. I confess, I know the name. I've seen some of his works before, but I have no idea from what time period he was. So Sarah was kind enough to delay the start of the podcast. So I know now that he died in, 1902?
1902, yeah.
Good turn of the century painter there. And I think Tim said that this was one of the only images that he could find that shows them gathering the leftover manna. Of course, our story last week, this week, continuing on for a couple weeks, is coming from John 6, the multiplication of the loaves and the bread of life discourse. The painting is a great representation of that superabundance that God gives us, that overwhelming desire to be a generous Father for us. And
so just to keep it light and fun like that, this is like the cleanup crew then?
This is the cleanup
crew.
Yes. Yes, this is what we get to do when Father Ross goes away.
Yes, the cleanup crew. What we get to do this weekend after we have the Junior Philharmonic on.
Yes.
So yes, okay, I get it now. No, that's fun. I mean, like, can you imagine like whatever scraps they had if you traveled a distance? You would need those to, get back home and have the food and stuff after listening to Jesus speak too. Yeah.
And even just the experience of living through that and, seeing there's not much food, I'm going to be hungry today. And then just watching them bring basket after basket back after they'd collected the leftovers.
Super fun.
Very exciting.
So as we go through the bulletin, the first couple of pages are normal with the list of parish ministry team, church hours, locations, mass intentions. One new name that you'll see listed in there is Erica Castro. She is the new director of religious education. She'll be starting here in the next couple of weeks. We don't have a specific date picked. Her and Father Ross are talking. So she'll be around. She is from Colombia, and Spanish is her first language. So it'll be fun to have that here on campus as we all practice speaking Spanish. Sarah's the last in the list, I think, of practicing as much as she should be. So, but very nice that way. Thank you for all the giving that you've done and continue to do, and all of our mass intentions. It'll be a fun week here with Father Ross.
Feast days coming up too.
Yes, and actually on Tuesday, August 6th, we'll get to this too during the what's going on, but Tuesday, August 6th, the 6:30 Mass is canceled. We will have priests here on campus. They have a priest day, and they will be having dinner and all the fun socializing and stuff.
Holy hour, confessions, that opportunity that you would think priests get all the time, but we don't have, especially as a community. So
right.
It'll be nice to get together to enjoy some fraternity and to get to spend some time praying together and really enjoying that brotherhood as priests.
Yes, so very fun. So the intention that's listed there for 6:30 will be said at 8 a.m. It will not be forgotten. Do not worry. It'll just be said at 8 a.m. All right, let's move on to the next page. All right, as you know, Tim usually works on this family of faith, and I'm not 100% sure. He usually gives you a reason why he chose it, but I don't know, but I truly love. I have a mug and everything else that says "Choose Joy," and I don't necessarily know that I always go with the acronym that's used here, but I choose joy as to try to find, in the hardest part of your day to get through it. Joy is not necessarily, yay, like cheerleader.
Right.
Joy is finding Jesus and God and moments to get through even the tough times. So here we have Jesus. Joy stands for Jesus, others, and yourself. And yeah, put it that way, right?
When I was becoming Catholic, my cousin painted her bedroom wall with that Jesus, others, yourself, and to remind us, herself especially, that that's the proper order of things. And she was the one very instrumental in my conversion. So this saying here has
a lot
of faith history for Father Joe.
Very, very nice. And then as we do, I actually got the children's bulletin all done yesterday, so that way we could use it. So it's the last week of the Vacation Bible School insert page. Like all the inside is always that. But it says God is a friend for everyone. And if you remember last week on the podcast, Father Luke mentioned that from the Eucharistic Congress that he was at, one of the things that struck him was that Jesus and the Eucharist is for everyone. It's pretty powerful when you stop and think about it. So, you know what I mean? God is for everyone. It's that acceptance that we all have to have, that belief, which is not easy. And it's not easy even for us that work at the church. I mean, it's an everyday, you have to do something.
And you have to choose it. Yeah.
You have to choose it, right? You have to choose to find joy. You have to choose God. You have to choose that life. And again, putting God first and then others and then yourself is not the way of a lot of culture right now. Right? It goes the other way.
Whatever I want first.
Right.
Then maybe others. And then if you believe, possibly Jesus. Yeah.
Possibly we'll give it to God.
Yeah.
So it's fun to think about that way. There's two saints in here this week because they met in Hawaii during their faithful time. And then on the back is just a fun picture that has things that you can help Jesus find that he lost while he was in Capernaum. So, and then we just went back to a regular family prayer of just an Our Father. Sometimes just saying that daily can help bring us together as a family and to, again, put God first. God, our Father. So, there.
Very
that sounds good. Yeah?
Yes.
That's always, ad-libbed and everything. We don't write a script at all here. We just see what the bulletin pulls out in us.
Yes.
The upcoming events, like we said, there is no 6:30 p.m. Mass on Tuesday, just that 8 a.m. Mass. Father Luke and Father Ross will be celebrating that together. Father Joe and I will probably be beginning of the prep of the food for the priests.
I'll actually be at the cathedral celebrating their 8 a.m. Mass.
Okay, so Sarah will be here prepping food for the, for the dinner that night. It'll be it's going to be a fun day. It's always fun to visit with the priest too. And I got to for the first time last year help cook dinner and have it all served and everything. And then I left because they like to sit and bond and stuff. And after a while, I can't. I have nothing to bond with them about. They have their own brotherhood.
You can only listen to so many bad dad jokes in a row before you get crazy, right?
Yes, as the retired ones come, yes. Wednesday the 7th is obviously a regular Wednesday around here with fellowship and Bible study in the morning, celebrate recovery in the evening. The nights, actually, I'm not sure if I don't think they have a meeting in August. It is in here. So we'll double check again and we'll make sure they say we update that in the announcements. Thursday is Let's Hang Out, and we are also going to be having our Faith Formation team meeting. So if you are interested in maybe just coming and asking questions about what it means to be a part of the Faith Formation team, this is an opportunity to do that. We're going to start with Mass at 6:30, which is our Spanish Mass, so it's fun. We've invited our friends over from San Esteban to worship with us that night and to come together as a new team, working with both parishes. So if you want to be. If you are a team member already and you have been, so it's just going to be a nice night to pray and then see what's on the schedule for this year and get a schedule too. So
the important part.
The important part. St. Jude's are looking for volunteers. The school for some, looks like cleanup. Yes?
Weeding.
Yes.
Weeding, yes.
Weeding. That was the gospel yesterday? Weeds?
Yes.
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 I did go to Mass last night. Yes. Woo, yay. So, yes, it had to do with weeding. So, anyway, just a different kind there.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Uno's tip of the week at all?
Yes, so Uno's tip of the week is to live well right now. Of course, we're in the middle of summer break, even myself who had to go to summer school. But that time is coming to an end sooner than we'd rather admit. So it's important to use these last couple days for some relaxation and rest because really the Lord is always calling us to challenge ourselves to grow, and it's important to take some time to rest, but it's also important to dive into learning how to continue to grow. So I like the quote here from St. John of Mala, "As to the past, let us entrust it to God's mercy, and the future to divine providence. Our task is to live holy in the present moment." So take advantage of the time that we have now to become the saints that we're called to be.
Very nice. And then we move on to, so this Friday will be our first Friday adoration here at St. Jude. It had been done at the St. Andrew Chapel for many years. We've moved it out here to have it part of the big full community with everybody here. We have a nice big chapel, and Father Joe is actually saying Mass tomorrow or Friday morning, and then he'll put the Blessed Sacrament, that's the word, out. It's right there on that page. Out, and then you'll have the 24 hours of adoration. We do have a Friday group here that prays the Rosary. So I don't know if there's any spots left. Carol Layden and Barb Kuhn can help you with that if you're willing to take a spot. If you just want to come and pray, the chapel will be open for you to come and do that. If you're here after 9 p.m., it does have a special code for those people that will be here through the night, just to make sure they're safe in their praying moments. So if you needed to come at those times, make sure that you get a hold of either Carol or Barb, and we can help you out, with coming at a different time. We had a baptism last weekend, so congratulations, Luke, by being baptized by Father Luke.
Yes.
Super fun. And if you have, Father Luke's working very hard on bringing back or setting up baptism classes and bringing that back to life here. It had a little, we did something different for a while, and now we're bringing back just actual in-person classes with Father Luke. So, and then even in Spanish too, we have Indiras coming, can do that too. So we can do them in both languages. Super fun.
Which is always exciting, and especially for young priests, that's always a fun part of the job, is getting to join in the celebration of new lives and families growing and all of that fun stuff. So, yeah. Congratulations again to Luke, and also congratulations to Father Luke.
We have a baptism every weekend here until the second week of September.
That's very exciting.
And I think there's 2 sets of twins too. So I asked Father Luke, I said, did you spread the word that you wanted twins to be around? But one of them, he is actually going to be they're good friends with Father Jason Fye, so he'll be here celebrating that baptism. And actually a set of twins that are supposed to be born any day now. So
oh, wow.
They're not actually even born, and they're the last ones in September that are scheduled. So super exciting. Yeah, like they were due here at the end of July, and today's the last day. So I'll hopefully learn their names. If you don't already, if new to St. Jude, we use Flocknote here as our communication piece. So there's different ways to set it up here in the bulletin, and that's for your phone. But you can also go online if you don't have a smartphone or if you don't like them. You can go online and do everything that way also.
And we also, in this bulletin, have the monthly prayer intentions of Pope Francis for August. And for August, he's asking us to pray for political leaders. Of course, all over the world this year. There's been a lot of elections that have lined up perfectly. Of course, England and France are the big ones that I know have already happened. There's some going on in South America as we speak, and of course, the big one going on in the United States in November. It's important that we pray for all of our political leaders. And of course, we know that we ultimately submit to Christ the King, but part of it is, we have earthly things to manage and render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. It's, of course, a very difficult job, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, and especially as we go on, it seems like it's getting more and more divisive, but we need to remember to pray. Jesus tells us even to pray for our enemies, and so Pope Francis reminds us that sometimes that comes in the form of political leaders. So please, especially in the month of August, but at all times, up to and after the election, we need to pray for our political leaders.
So while Father Ross was in England, Ireland, and Scotland, that's when in England they were actually having the elections and stuff. And you kind of knew they were happening, but they're not as vocal in those, and at least in England. So it's very interesting, the dynamics of an election or any type of thing like that in different countries, what the culture does that way. So it was fun hearing the people come back and they're like, I guess it happened. I mean, obviously, if they would have been going to France, they would have seen, all the preparation for the Olympics. So, I mean, anytime you travel to Europe in the summer, there's always something exciting going on. Following up, we have Erie Gives coming up on August 13th. We are very excited to partner with St. Jude's School. We are looking to upgrade all of their furniture in the middle school classrooms. So that way, it's very going to be similar to some of the furniture that we have in the church, in the founder's room, in the youth room. But to give the middle school kids just a different feel. I mean, they're still all in the elementary school, but they have a different feel. And then our middle school Edge group for faith formation will be using that stuff also. So that's why we're partnering with them, because it's going to be a combined use. And then we have in here also, in Spanish translation, all the stuff about the adoration of the Blessed Sacrament.
So coming up on our final pages here, as Sarah mentioned, this weekend we'll be having a missionary priest coming to do the appeal. He's coming from the Kabbalah Diocese in Uganda. I've always enjoyed, I've only been a priest 4 years now, but I've always enjoyed when the missionary priests have come, because, it can be so easy to get hyper-focused on, what the Catholic Church looks like in the Diocese of Erie specifically, which is very different from other places, even in the United States. But having people come in from all over the world, I've gotten to meet priests from Africa and Asia especially, seem to be the big ones that come to the Diocese of Erie, and hearing how vastly different the experience of Catholicism is all under that umbrella, and all of the good work that people are doing in the name of Christ all over the world. So I look forward to adding another priest to my collection in that sense, to hear what goes on in his mission in Kabbalah. And I just ask all of you to continue to share the generosity that Christ asks us to help those who are in need, and to continue to support the church all throughout the world.
Definitely. Yeah, he'll be at all the masses here at St. Jude and over at San Esteban at noon for that mass also. So, yeah, very fun. Now it's going to be my second year actually meeting the priest that is coming to speak. So last year I got to take that one to dinner, so super fun that way. Also, just to reflect, just a more in-depth talk about the faith formation teams, our upcoming team meeting. If you want to pray about it, if you just want to come, just give Tim or I a call. And we just want to know you're coming. You know what I mean? That's just great. If you don't call and you show up, well, that's fine too. We're not having food or anything. There'll be refreshments always. We always have something to drink in the fridge with water and soda and stuff. So, but yeah, if you can, let us know. If not, just show up if that's what's on your heart that night.
And correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but if they come, it doesn't commit them to the whole thing. So if you're thinking about it, if you don't know if it would be a good fit, still stop by and see what they've got going on. It's always great. You never know where the Lord is calling you to serve, so just keep your heart open. Maybe he's asking you to step out of your comfort zone a little bit, and this would be a great step to help continue to pass the faith on to the youth of the parish.
Right, and we have the elementary, which is the K through 5, Edge 6, 7, and 8, and Purpose actually dives in with a confirmation. But we didn't put in here our children's liturgy on Sunday. So anytime, if you want to look to sub or just to help out Miss Colleen, during that 10:30 Mass, or if you want to bring children's liturgy to a different Mass, like you feel like you want the kids to be a part of that. That's why we have the children's bulletin at all Masses, so that way all the children can, get something, and not just at 10:30. So if you have a different idea, or if you just want to sub, or if you just want to assist on retreats, these are all the things that, now if it's on your heart and you want to talk about it, just bring it to us. Just come and listen, or just, hang like we do on Thursdays here at St. Jude, we hang out. Yes. So
enjoy the snacks and the beverages.
Right, exactly. Do you know more about this part?
I know a little bit more. We're talking about the Catholic Men's Fellowship of Western Pennsylvania, which will be held Saturday, September 21st. It's the 16th gathering of Catholic men down in Pittsburgh at the Union Ballroom at Duquesne University. I went to seminary in Latrobe, which is just a little bit outside of Pittsburgh, so when we were there, we were invited to attend and participate. Of course, we've got Father Larry Richards, who is now the pastor at St. Luke's in Erie. I don't know if he's the MC this year, but he's definitely going to be presenting. I see that we have Kevin Colbert. I'm not sure who he is, but other names that I recognize, Tim Glemkowski, who was the CEO of the Eucharistic Congress that Father Luke just got to participate in last week. He will be there speaking. I'm sure he'll be talking about the Eucharist and probably incorporating a lot of stories from the Congress and all of the different events. I got to follow along from afar, so it would be interesting to go hear from the leadership the perspectives on what happened, and hopefully to learn a little bit about how they plan on making this an important part of the life of the Church in the United States and help us to keep focused on the Eucharist as we go forward. And finally, the last name they have listed here is Bishop Walter Scheid. He's an auxiliary bishop in Pittsburgh. I've got to meet him a couple of times. I really enjoy him. He's a small, soft-spoken man, but when he preaches, it's very powerful and very profound, and you can really feel the love that he has for Christ and his church. So certainly 3 out of the 4 of them I wholeheartedly endorse, and that's only because I don't know the 4th one. So I'm sure they don't go small for anyone. So I think it would be a great opportunity for those who have some time on a Saturday in September to go give themselves a little bit more to the Lord himself.
Yes, and I always find it interesting. Maybe it's me and my simpleness, and we know that's what I've talked about on the podcast before, if you even talked to me. I don't know that I overly ever focused on receiving Eucharist at Mass. Mm-hmm. It just came with it. Mm-hmm. And I've never not believed that it wasn't the real presence of Jesus right there, right? Like, so it's just, I think it blows my mind that people, you know what I mean? Like, we have to have a big Congress and talk about it more. Maybe again, that's my simpleness, that the fact that you can just believe. I mean, yeah, it's one or the other. It's interesting. It's a whole big long discussion. I'm probably listening. I didn't listen to Tim and Father Luke's discussion last week, so that might be more what it is. But I don't know. I don't know. As much as there's music and stuff at Mass is about a meal, and right. That's what we gather around a table, and that's why I like some of the churches that have that rounded feel, because you see people across the table from you, like you do when you share a meal with friends and family. So, I don't know. That's just me and my and my little humble witness for the day. So let's get back onto big witnessing. Facebook is still crazy. We are switching accounts. You'll see this here, to switch to a new St. Jude account that has been created, to unsubscribe to anything that was St. Jude the Apostle, that's now somehow based out of Kosovo or wherever. They still only post very nice things. Yeah. I mean, nothing's mean or anything towards the church. I mean, it's actually very prayerful, which is nice, but
but
it's
not
not
us.
anybody in this building. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then around the church, around the diocese, St. George is talking about their pilgrimage next year, I think it is, or
To
later.
Medjugorje, which is very conveniently near Kosovo. So
Oh, interesting.
we'll have to talk to Father Brian. Maybe he has something to do with the hacking. Trying to promote his pilgrimage.
Trying to promote the pilgrimage, yeah. And then, so we have the mission weekend. And then we have a Latin American collection coming up too. So Tim will put more of that in the bulletin next week. So you'll see that from a couple different times. So anyway, this was super fun.
It was.
Yeah.
I was worried that we would be the B team coming in to cover while everyone was traveling, but I think we nailed it. We might have a little bit of competition going on to see who's the starting team from now on, right?
Well, it'll be very interesting. Like you might have to. Well, I don't know what Tim's going to do the week I'm away coming up here. My Father Luke will come, but I help him out probably. But yeah, it'll be very interesting. It's fun to have other varieties of people. I know everybody got excited when Sarah finally joined the podcast. So yeah, it's been fun. So now I have to learn how to do the editing and stuff so that you can see this. So that's the other half of that. That's fun. But it was great hanging out with you today. Know of our prayers for you. We're praying for you all week. If you have any prayer intentions, please call the office or the prayer line, and we'll get you added. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.